Hi everyone, and welcome to this special live session from the series Engineering Qualification Validation. And in this live session, which is number 184, yes, I've done already 184 live sessions, not counting even the online workshops. And tonight I will be talking about some of the biggest fears when starting the validation process. And also I would like to thank everybody for your participation in the workshop Engineer Journey 2023 that finished just last Thursday. And thank you all for your participation, your engagement, your interest, and your contribution to the workshop. I'm very happy, and I hope that you guys learned how you can start your validation process to become an engineer here in Australia. And also thank you for those ones that took the next step and enrolled in my online mentoring program, Validation Formula, taking the advantage, obviously, of the $800 discount that finished Friday. But if you missed the deadline, you still have a good opportunity. I'm still giving you $600 discount and also the 9 bonuses for free. So you just need to go to my website that I'm going to share very soon with you, validationmentoring.com, and make your enrollment in there. But first, for those that are new here and don't know me, my name is Gerson Ida. I'm the founder of the website www.engineersinaustralia.com, a website that I created 4 years ago to share my knowledge and information about how you can become an engineer in Australia if you were qualified overseas. And before I start, I would like to ask you guys to write in the comments, what is your biggest blockage when it comes to get started with the validation process? If you are an engineer that graduated overseas and are here in Australia, or you are planning to come to Australia, still in your home country, and you're thinking about in becoming an engineer, but you have a blockage that is preventing you to become an engineer. So what is this blockage? Please write in the comments. It will help me in the live session tonight as well, because I'm going to talk about the biggest fears that most engineers they face at the start of the validation process. And if you share your blockage, we can explore and talk about it and perhaps unblock this issue there. All right, so let's get down to the business now, and I'm very happy to be with you tonight and share my knowledge and help you to clarify your questions, your doubts in the validation process. And we're going to start with the biggest fear. Well, I said I was going to share with you the link for you guys to check out my online mentoring program, Validation Formula. You can just go to the site that I shared with you, and you'll be able to learn everything that you need to understand about my mentoring program. Okay, so one of the biggest fears is when you think you are not very good in English. A lot of people, they don't start their validation process because they think that they're not very good in English. And this is a very, very common fear that many engineers have, as English is not really their mother language in majority of cases. It was not my mother language, that's for sure. So how to overcome this fear? You need to understand that the validation process will require you a proficient English level. You will need to do an English test, either IELTS or PTE or TOEFL, and you will have to have a minimum score. And the score is the equivalent to a proficient level. We're not talking about fluent or native level, but we're talking about proficient level. So if you're planning well your validation process, you probably still have some 3 to 6 months until you decide to finish your validation work and apply with Engineers Australia. So you still have few months until you apply, and you can use these 3, 4, 5 months to improve your English while you do your validation process. And if you are really committed to the validation process, you will take this time to really dive into the technical terminology. You will be reading much more English articles. You will be perhaps participating in online webinars with Engineers Australia, and you will be training yourself with English as well. So if you can understand my English, and obviously I'm not a native English speaker, but if you can understand what I'm talking about, it means that your English is probably okay for you to start your validation process. And you will see that naturally your English will get better, will improve, because you will be doing those things. So if you're a bit fearful because, oh, I don't speak English very well, I have difficulties in interpreting or understanding texts, it's normal. It is normal, and you need to face that fear and read a little bit more, watch a little bit more movies in English, and even though if you have subtitles, but then encourage you to cover the subtitles or turn it off so you don't get you just used to the subtitles, so you can practice your listening. Or you have your subtitles and practice your listening, but try not to read too much the subtitles. Read when you don't really have certainty that you're listening all right, and then you can then check accuracy of what you're hearing. The other fear that I listed here, and there are so many fears, I had to choose. I chose about 7 or 8, but there are many more fears that people will have. But the second one that I chose was not having enough work experience. A lot of engineers, they come to me saying, Jason, I don't really have a lot of work experience. I graduated, and after a short period of time, I came to Australia, and in Australia, I didn't work as an engineer. So yeah, how can I validate my qualification if I never worked as an engineer? It's important to say that Engineers Australia does not require work experience, and when they are validating your engineering qualification, they just saying that your overseas qualification is equivalent to an Australian qualification. They're not assessing the level of competency in terms of your professional abilities. They just want to know your engineering skills and competencies according to your course, just to make sure that it is equivalent to an Australian engineering curriculum or Australian engineering course. So if you don't have enough work experience, or if your work experience is not really relevant to what they believe an engineer does here in Australia, it's not a problem. You can always use your academic engineering experience to validate your qualification. The other fear that usually engineers have is not having access to academic work. As I said before, if you don't have work experience, or if your work experience is not relevant, you may use your academic engineering experience. But then some of you may have graduated already some time ago or a long time ago and may not have access to the academic work that you produced. And I say that because 99% of the cases where you are applying your validation using your academic experience, Engineers Australia will ask you to send a copy of your academic report, your project or your final assignment, your designs, whatever you did and whatever you are trying to use in your validation process. But in case you don't have access anymore to your academic work, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, it's better if you do have, because that's the evidence of the work that you did. But if you don't have it, there are a few other ways that you can do it, or a couple of other ways. And the better one is to contact the course coordinator or the course coordination of your course at university, and then talk to them and ask them if they can provide you with a reference letter according to the experience that you're going to write in your career episode. So it can be done. It obviously requires a little bit more work. You need to communicate with your university, and the university obviously needs to be willing to sign a letter for you, but it can be done. The other fear that usually engineers have in the beginning of the validation process is, what type of experience should I use in the career episodes? Remember that if you obviously participated in the workshop, you know that you need to write 3 career episodes using your engineering experience, either academic or work. But then you think, all right, I need to choose 3 experiences. What are those experiences? Which experiences should I choose to write my career episodes? And this fear is legit, because choosing the right experience is critical for your success. I'd say that it's kind of a life or death. You will be approved or not, depending on the experience that you choose. If you choose the wrong experience, obviously there's a very high likelihood that you're not going to be approved, because either your experience is not complex enough, or your experience is not really matching the definition of your occupation according to ANZ SEO. And Engineers Australia may come back to you saying that your experience doesn't really match with the occupation that you chose, and you need to change your experience. If not, you're not going to be approved. So it is probably the biggest fear that engineers have, because some of them, they have a lot of experiences, and then they don't know which one they should choose, which experience would be better to be used. Okay. And others, because they don't have many experiences, they have to go to academic work. They need to choose some subjects of the university. But then what subjects should they choose? So it is certainly a complicated decision, and you need to make sure that you choose the right experience. Probably the advice that I can give to you guys is that when you choose the experience, you need to go to the ANZ SEO occupation definition website from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, and then search for your occupation that you're going to choose, read the definition, and make sure that the experience that you're going to choose matches the definition of that occupation there. The other fear that usually people have is not being a good report writer. Engineers in general, I'm saying general, don't get offended if you are a good report writer, but in general, engineers are not very good report writers. For example, myself, I don't consider to be a natural good report writer. I do write good reports today because I learned and I use some techniques to write very good reports. Because of my work as well, I need to write reports, and I need to make sure that they are good reports. So I have to deal with my natural lack of report writing skills and learn how to write good reports. But if you are like me, that you're not really a natural good report writer, and you have this fear because you need to write the continuing professional development report, you need to write then the 3 career episodes They are reports, and you need to write the summary statement report as well. So you need to write 5 reports. And if you're not a good report writer, obviously it's natural that you have this fear because you're not a good report writer. But there are ways that you can work around and try to organize yourself, think about the experiences, take notes about your examples, organize your thinking, and then the writing will be just a consequence of a good organization and a good planning process. And that's what I teach in my mentoring program as well. My students, they become really good in report writing, and I hope that they will take this to their professional careers as well, because some of them, they come to my mentoring program struggling, having difficulties to write even 1,000 words, and in the end they ended up writing 3,000 words, and they have to cut some words to make sure that they stay around the 2,500 words each career episode. And I would like to ask you guys, I'm going to share here a post in Instagram. I just did this post now, and I would like your engagement with that. Simple question. What is your biggest fear or fears in the validation process? I will copy the link. So if you can write in the comments, I'll like this one. If you can like the post and then write in the comments, what is your biggest fear or fears in the validation process? Write in there, because also it helps me to choose new subjects that I can talk about, that I can share in my stories, that I can record a video in YouTube. So I'm going to copy the link or paste the link in YouTube and also in Instagram, so you can go there and interact with me there. All right, the other fear that usually people have is understanding of the competencies. As you may know, if you don't know, I welcome you to participate in my workshop. That next version is probably going to happen just in December. But to validate your qualification, you need to make sure that you prove 16 competencies, 16 competencies. And understanding those competencies can be a little bit fearful. When you read some of the competencies, they're not very easy to understand. And a lot of people will struggle to understand the competencies, and also having difficulties to find engineering examples that they did that addressed those competencies. And what can I say for you to overcome this fear? First of all, try to understand what the competencies talk about. If you don't understand a word, if you don't understand the terminology, because obviously it's in English, I encourage you guys to do a little bit of research, do some reading, and try to understand what the competency is about. It's going to be difficult for you to demonstrate that particular competency if you cannot even understand what the competency is talking about. So in my videos, you can find in my YouTube channel, I've got more than 300 videos there. I talk about some of the competencies, I give examples of some of the competencies. So I encourage you guys to go there, have a look, and if you find the content interesting, I invite you to consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and activate the notifications so you are notified when there is a new video or when I am doing a live session. And if you think this live is interesting, I welcome your like. Just need to hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and keeps me motivated to keep going and doing these live sessions here. The other biggest fear that I think people will have is about plagiarism. But in fact, I'm not sure why many people, they have fear, of plagiarism. If you're not going to engage with unethical behavior, if you're not going to ask a company to write on your behalf, if you're not going to copy somebody else's career episode, if you're not going to ask somebody else to write on your behalf, you don't need to be fearful of plagiarism. If all the work was done by you and with your own words, you shouldn't really having this fear. But in case you do, you just gotta make sure that you write everything yourself, even if you write in your own language. A lot of engineers, they think that they better to write the career episodes in their own language, and then they will translate. If you translate by yourself, yeah, that's fine, because it's your own words. If you translate using Google, or if you engage a translator to translate for you, that is plagiarism, because the report was not written by you, even though the report was written by you in your own language, but the report in English was not written in your own words by you. So just be careful, because you can and you will get caught by plagiarism, and Engineers Australia can impose a banning period for up to 3 years when they catch you. So yeah, I'm not here to tell you what you should and what you shouldn't really be doing, but I'm just here to make you aware of the risks of being caught by plagiarism. And the other fear that I would like to talk with you guys is about how to start. A lot of people, they have this fear. They delay the validation process because they don't even know how to start their validation process. And they get stuck, they get frozen, they don't know how to start, they don't know what they need to do, they don't know how much it's going to cost, they don't know how long it's going to take. They don't know if it's an easy process or a difficult process. So, and then because they don't know many things, they never start. So, if you don't know much about the validation process, I invite you to watch my YouTube channel's videos and participate in my free workshop that I promote every few months, where I teach everything to you about the validation process, and you can start on the same day after you participate in the workshop. But obviously the next one is just going to happen in December. It's still a couple of months away. My advice is read the booklet, the Engineers Australia booklet. Just Google Migration Skills Assessment Engineers Australia. Go to the Engineers Australia website and read the booklet. Not just the booklet, but the Migration Skills Assessment pages. There are a few pages there, and with a lot of links. Click on every single link and study the Migration Skills Assessment process. And read the booklet not just once, but twice, 3 times, 4 times. Because the more you read, there are going to have more questions. And then you ask those questions. You can send me a direct message or in my Instagram or in Messenger, and or put in the comments in the videos, and I will answer them. And that is the best way for you to start your understanding about the validation process. Read the booklet, try to understand really the process. The process is fairly simple. And during this week, I'm going to do a few question and answer sessions where I'm going to answer many questions that I received during the workshop. And I will be answering what are the steps very briefly. I'm going to say what are the 6 steps very briefly. And yeah, but that's how you got to start. And you start organizing your experiences. Have a think about what engineering experiences did you have. Are they academic or work? Are they relevant? Are my experiences matching with the definition of ANZ SEO occupation definition? So maybe you don't know even what I'm talking about because you don't know anything about the validation process. So that's why I do my workshops, and that's why I have all my videos, so you can I can share a little bit of my knowledge with you guys. Obviously there are some groups in Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to share with you a group in WhatsApp. I'm just going to share which one. I've got few groups in WhatsApp, but I'm going to choose the one. Yeah, which one should I share with you guys? Maybe this one. I'll share this one that was the one that I used for the workshop. Where is that? Yeah, that's the link. So if you want to be part of my WhatsApp group where I share some information about the workshop, you can join the group with this link, and I share information about the workshop in there. Okay. Yeah, so pretty much these 8 biggest fears that I shared with you guys are the most common fears that usually engineers have, and the ones that they usually come and talk to me about it. So I hope that it kind of helped you guys. And if you are already determined to become an engineer here in Australia, I certainly encourage you guys to visit my validation mentoring page, so you guys can have a look and take advantage of the special offer, the workshop offer with a $600 discount and the 9 bonuses. And the enrollments are going to close next Sunday, 22nd of October, 11:59 p.m. Brisbane time. And if you have questions during the week, tomorrow, Monday, 8 p.m., I'm going to have a question and answer sessions, and I'm going to be giving away or delivering the first 15 minutes of free consulting to Camila. She was one of the lucky winners of the 15 minutes of free consulting, and tomorrow 8 p.m. I'm going to be delivering this free mentoring or free consultancy with her. And after that, I'm going to be answering questions that I received during the workshop session. So 8 p.m. tomorrow Brisbane time, in my YouTube channel and in my Instagram profile, I will be live to answer questions and having the 15 minutes of free consulting with Camila. Okay, so I would like to thank you guys very much for your participation tonight, and I hope to see you tomorrow 8 p.m. Brisbane time in the live session. I'll see you then. Bye bye.